Alright, shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the Most High God. Yahushai is the Son of God, the true name of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Again, Yahweh is the Most High God. Yahushai is the Son of God, the true name of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Yasharahla Allahayim Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Right, in this lesson is going to be concerning the kingdom of yasharahla. Right, because it's prophesied in the scriptures, in the holy scriptures, that there's going to be a world that's going to come after this world. It's prophesied in the holy scriptures that there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven. And this world to come, if you will, this new world, after this world, is going to be a government or a mountain, which that mountain is the kingdom of yasharahla. And the king that's going to be the king, and the king that's going to rule in the kingdom of yasharahla is Yahushai. Right, ultimately it's his kingdom. Right, and this is, a part of, the anticipation, if you will. This is a part of our patience. Because we patiently waiting for that day. We patiently waiting to inherit everlasting life. To inherit that kingdom, man. That kingdom. Now to start off this lesson, I'm going to get Luke chapter 22, verse 28. It says, Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. Yeah, we're going to go through many trials and tribulations for this truth, man. This is a difficult walk, if you will, seeking out the kingdom. Right, but it's going to all be worth it. It says, verse 29, And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father have appointed unto me. So it's going to be a kingdom appointed unto us. We're going to inherit it. In fact, it speaks about in the book of Romans, we're going to be joint heirs. Right? We're going to be joint heirs. Now, when you go into the inheritance of Yahushai and what he received and what he inherited is what? The whole earth. Right? Psalm chapter 2. He's going to rule over the whole earth in the world to come. Once he put down the rulers and the rulerships and the kingdoms of this world, the nations of this world, and his kingdom is going to be established. And he shall rule over the whole entire earth. Now those that's going to be under him is the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 chosen of Israel. Right, and they're going to be joint heirs, if you will. Meaning they're going to inherit the kingdom. Meaning they're going to rule over the earth as well. They're going to have, these nations as servants, man. Now let's continue on. It says, And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father have appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's exactly what the elect gonna do. Right, so we got something great, that's ahead of us, man, if you will. Right, we gotta endure. Right, we gotta endure, man. Now let's start, continue on. Let's get Isaiah chapter 2. This Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. It says, And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains... Matter of fact, let's get Isaiah chapter 8. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. It says, For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. Now that government is who? The elect. Now this government It's going to be that top mountain or that top government that's going to be in the world to come. Right? You got governments in this world that have authority and governance over the earth. But in the world to come, you're going to have one government. And that's going to be the elect of Israel, man. And the head is going to be Yahushua. It says, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David, upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice, from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. Nope. Right, start off with that. Let's get Isaiah chapter 66. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 66. Isaiah chapter 65, Salakia. It says, Isaiah chapter 65 verse 17. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Right? Because when you go into it, it's going to be renewed, if you will. Back to the former, if you will. It's going to be renewed, meaning what? Just like in the days or in the Garden of Eden, which when you go into the word Eden, it translates to pleasure. Right? It was a paradise back then. So when this new earth and this new heaven is created, it's going to be like a paradise. Right? In this world has been destroyed, defiled, polluted because of bad management. Which who's, been managing this earth? Esau, Edom. Right? The sea is polluted. The air is polluted. The people mourneth. The earth mourneth and languisheth. You got over there in Korea, they came and see the stars in the heaven, man. Because it's been so polluted. You got, the whole world consuming sea animals that's unclean. Which these sea animals are for a reason. They're here for a reason to what? Clean the sea. Right, you got global warming and stuff like that. Trees is being cut down at a rapid number every day, man. So this world is being destroyed daily, man. But in the world to come, it's gonna be returned back to that paradise, where the trees and the herbs and the fruits and the vegetables is going to flourish and blossom. It's going to bring its right amount. It's going to bring that right amount, if you will. The air is going to be much more finer. Right? Because what? The rulers is going to be righteous, man. In fact, it speaks about that. And it's not going to never get polluted. Right? That new earth is never going to be polluted. Never going to be defiled. Because it's going to be a wise government, if you will. In fact, when you go into the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Verse 24, it says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. And who's the wise? The elect. Right? The body believers that believe in Yahushua, that receive Yahushua. And they're going to be saved. right? But when you go into the word welfare, let's get into it. Let's get it in the etymology dictionary. It says the condition of being or doing well, right? Because ultimately, that government, that kingdom of yasharahla is going to be that staff that's going to be for the stability of the entire earth. And it's going to be good management in the world to come, man. We're not going to pollute the world like Esau, man. We're not going to defile it like Esau, man. This kingdom or this government is going to be established with righteousness and judgment, man. And with justice, man. Right, in this world, you have businesses that profit off of corruption, pollution, that profit off of self-destruction, if you will. Right, so many factories that destroy the world. You know, so many businesses that destroy, that profits, you know, by destroying the world, man. That's to the world's hurt, if you will. But in the world to come, the business is going to be all natural, man. Right? Ain't going to be no dollar, no paper for money, man. It's going to be gold, silver, natural things, man. Right? It's going to be a whole lot of myrrh, frankincense, you know, bitter herbs, etc. It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. So we're going to be for the well-being of the world. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number. I'm part of that government, that elect. You know? It says, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Now, who's that wise king that's going to be the upholding of the people in the world to come? Yahweh Shai. Right, in fact, Lord, when I can get it, let's get Isaiah real quick. Lord, when I can find it. Find that scripture. I could get that scripture. Alright, come on. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 1. It says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness. See, Yahweh Shai, he's going to reign in righteousness. Right? But when you go into this world, it speaks about, you know, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourneth. And you got the whole world mourning, man. Right here, you got people dying because of the food. Right? GMO fruits and vegetables. Fake food. You know, the water has been polluted by fluoride and, you know, all manner of things. You got chemtrails in the air. Right? So the wicked are in authority, so the people are mourning. But what happens when the righteous are in authority? And the people rejoice. Right? The king is, give stability onto the kingdom, if you will. But let's go back. It says, Isaiah chapter 32, verse 1, it says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. Now, who's those princes? Right? It's yasharahla, Israel, which when you go into the word yasharahla, which I probably already said already, but it's he princes of power. So Israel, the elect, they're going to be princes of power, man. Understand that. In fact, it speaks about, you know, we going to be as, you know, like gods, man. We going to be like gods, man, in the world to come. Right, let's get this. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 65, verse 17. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Now, I want to get Revelation chapter 21, verse verse 1. I'm going to start at verse 1 all the way to verse 5. And it's a word I want to get out of that verse 5 to get an understanding. It says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men." And who's that men? Or who's those men? The elect, the tabernacle of David, the house of David. Right, the church, if you will. The body of believers. It says, "And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people." Meaning the Lord's going to dwell with Israel. And Israel's going to be his people, man. It says, "And God himself shall be with them and be their God." Verse 4. "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." In fact, when you read Isaiah chapter, I forgot what chapter, I'm about to get it though. It says, "Crying and sighing shall flee away." Right, so there's going to be no more crying, no more sighing, huh? No more pain. Right, let's get Isaiah chapter 33, verse Isaiah chapter 35, verse 10. It says, "And the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads." What's that everlasting? That kingdom that's going to be in the world to come, man. It says, "They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away." So sorrow and sighing shall flee away, meaning there's going to be no sorrow, no sighing, man. There's going to be no sound of oppression in our streets. No sign of depression. No anxiety. No worries, no concerns, if you will. No thoughts that's going to be heavy upon thy mind. Right? Going back to Revelation chapter 21. Let's get verse 5 now. It says, "And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these things," it says, "for these words are faithful and true." Now, Salakia says, "For these words are true and faithful." Salakia, I slipped with the tongue, but it says, true and faithful. But let's get the word "new" in the blue letter Bible. Because when we study, we gotta look up the words. The Apostle Paul, that was one of the language that he spoke, was Greek. Right, one of the language that the Apostle Paul spoke and knew was Greek, and we gotta know the language as well. Right, but when you go into the word "new," it goes into
Strong's G 2537. Kainos. Kainos.
Right, translates to fresh, unused, unworn. Right, but the main word I want to get is this, in the word, going deeper in the root word.
Strong's G 3501. Neos. Neos.
Right, which when you go into the word neos, it translates to regenerate. Which when you go into that word regenerate, it goes into the Latin regeneratus, which bring forth again. To bring forth again. Meaning so that, the state of the world in the beginning, right, during that time of Eden, right, the Garden of Eden, which translates to pleasure, that's going to be brought back. Just imagine, just picture in the mind what the world looked like during the time of Adam and Eve, man. Right, just picture in your mind, man. That's going to be brought back, man. That's going to be paradise. I mean, the world to come is going to be paradise for Israel, man. Which, let's go get the word or Eden. So it's going to be a new earth and a new heaven, man. That's going to be brought back, man. Yeah, paradise, that new place, right? It says
Strong's H 5731. Eden.
Right, which when you go into the word Eden, it translates to pleasure. Right, the first habitat of men after the creation. Right, so that time is coming to pass. Meaning the trees, the fruit, the herbs, the plants, everything that's natural, man, is going to flourish. It's going to flourish. The sea, it's going to flourish, man. Right, it's going to be abundant of. It's going to be a lot of animals brought back at the rightful number, at the rightful amount. It goes into when you go deeper into the word, and translates to luxury, dainty, delight, or finery. Right, luxury, man. Right, it's gonna come a time when the earth is gonna be luxurious, man. Right, in this world, what's luxurious? Right, having a mansion. Right, having building, a flat house. Hotel rooms, stuff like that. That's luxurious. There's gonna come a time when man is gonna see the earth as being luxurious, man. The trees being, in a wilderness, it's gonna be luxurious, man. Yeah, and there's going to be mansions. Not saying that there's not going to be mansions, but there is going to be mansions. Which the elect is going to have mansions, big houses, man. Right, but it's still going to be in a state of in a great state, man. Right, going into the word, deeper into the word, it goes into adon, which luxury, to delight, delight oneself. Let's go into the word luxury. It says grow experimentally or in abundance. So the plants, everything is going to grow in abundance, man. Brothers is going to have, all manner of myrrh. When I say brother, I'm talking about the elect men, man. Brothers is going to have all manner of myrrh, frankincense, herbs. All manner of, oil. Oil going to be brought back, to be seen as a good resource. Sop. Minerals, stones, all fine. Basically, it's gonna be a great time, man. Right now, let's get Let's read Revelation chapter 21, verse 5 again. It says, and he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. So these words shall surely come to pass. Hey brothers, man, get ready for paradise, man. Get ready for paradise, man. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 65, verse 17 again. It says, For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad, Salaki says, but be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. Yeah, because Jerusalem, which is Israel, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are going to be that city that's going to be blessed by the Lord, if you will. All right, let's continue reading, man. It says, And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and a voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that have not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. Right, so ultimately, it's going to be everlasting life. We're going to be immortal, man, in the world to come. Immortality. Right? It says, And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. We're going to have abundance of natural resources. Right? It says, They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. Yeah, because ultimately we're going to have servants. We're going to have workers in the world to come that's going to build up our houses. It speaks about that in the book of Isaiah as well. Right? It says, For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and whilst they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. Yeah, because there's going to be peace in the world to come between animals. Right? No animal will ever attack an Israelite, man. There's going to be no animal attacks, man. There's going to be no danger for our children. In the ancient days, you had, kids that would get attacked by wolves, by animals, by beasts of the fields. There's going to be no more of that in the world to come. It says, They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my mountain, saith the Lord. Right? Let's get this. Let's get Isaiah chapter 33, verse 20. It says, Look upon Zion, which when you go into the word Zion, it goes into or it translates to monument. Monument. What is a monument? A place for remembering. A place to bring a place for remembrance, if you will. Let's look at the word monument. Right, it goes into the Latin monumentum, a monument. Going down here, a memorial record, something that reminds, to remind, reconciliation, to bring to reconciliation, or to make think of, or to remind. So ultimately, Zion, which is going to be a people, is going to bring Israel is going to be a people that's going to remind people of the Lord, right? Because when people, right, let's say it again, Israel is going to be that people that's going to remind people of the Lord, right? Because when people, the other nations, when they look upon Zion, they're going to be reminded of the Lord. They're going to see a people that is blessed. When a nation see Israel, they're going to see a people that is blessed by the Lord, man. They're going to see the people of the Lord, man. The kingdom of yasharahla, right? It says, look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Right? It says, thine eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation. Which when you go into the word quiet, right? Freedom from disturbance or conflict, stillness, rest, tranquility. So it's going to be peace, man, in the land, right? In the city of Zion, in the land of Zion, in the holy city of Jerusalem, it's going to be peace. There's going to be no conflict, no disturbance in that land. And Lord, when I'm a part of it, man. It says, thine eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation. Or Isaiah chapter 33, verse 20. It says, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down, not one of the stakes thereof shall ever be removed. I mean, it's going to be protected. Neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken. Which even when you go into Revelation chapter 21, verse 12, it says, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So a 12 at the gates of the of Jerusalem is going to be 12 angels, man. Right? So it's going to be protected, man. There's going to be no disturbance, no conflict in that land. It says, we're going back, verse 21. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 21. It says, but there the glorious Lord will be unto us a place of broad rivers, wherein shall go no galley with oars. Let's read again. It says, but there the glorious Lord will be unto us a place of broad rivers and streams, wherein shall go no galley with oars, neither shall gallant ships pass thereby. Right? Now I'm done. Now let's get another precept. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. And Ephraim, it says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Right? Because the 12 tribes, they're going to be at peace with one another. The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom is going to be at peace with one another. Which in this world, you have blacks beefing with Mexicans. You have division amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. Which this is the 12 tribes. Judah is the African American. Benjamin is the West Indians. Levites are the Haitians. Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans, which if I'm not mistaken, the southern kingdom is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the northern kingdom is the Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Guatemala to Panama, the Mayans, the Native American Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Colombia to Uruguay, Incas, Mexicans, Aztecs, Argentina, Chile, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing those names wrong. Right, so those are the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Right, so they're going to be at peace with one another, man. It says, let's go back. This Isaiah chapter 60, verse in fact, I'm going to do a part 2. Right, Lord willing, this video is edifying. Double honors to the elders of the house of David. Please, peace and blessings unto the elect. Salute and shalom to the fellow laborers in His truth. And all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Shalom.